So Jim ended up, after Florida State, he transferred to UCLA, where he was in the film program.
Yes.
Where he met a fellow named Ray.
Yep.
And in the film program, they were friends. They weren't like best friends.
Right.
But they got along.
Yeah, because when the school year ended, they were just like, or when they graduated, actually, they were just like, all right, man, see you. It was great in school. They never really thought, it wasn't a friendship like that where they needed to stay in touch.
Right.
They just went their separate ways. And then 40 days later.
Well, it's funny because Ray was like, yeah, I'm going to keep, hanging around in California. What are you going to do? He was like, I'm going to move to New York City. Jim said that. And it's funny because nobody really knows what happened when he went to New York, but it seems like he just got spit up and chewed the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
Like he was just like, I don't want to be here.
No.
This is too fucking much.
It's too much. You don't want summer in the city, really, Jim. You should have came around the fall or the spring. You don't want to come in the height of the summer. You're already out at the pretty beach. Stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go enjoy the summer out in LA.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he didn't.
Yeah.
Because what happened was he went back to LA and just by chance he happened to run into Ray at the beach.
Yeah.
Venice Beach, I believe.
Yes.
And it's funny because Jim was always a poet, but like we said at the beginning, he was never a musician.
No.
He never sang, he never wrote songs.
Right.
But he was always a writer.
Yeah.
And when he saw Ray again, he basically told Ray, like, hey, like, I've basically been hearing concerts in my head. And I've been taking notes on these concerts in my head. And I've been writing this stuff down.
Yeah.
And Ray's like, that's pretty cool, man. Like, why don't you sing me something?
Yeah.
So he sings Moonlight Drive.
Yeah, a little bit of Moonlight Drive. He sings that. And I'm sure, just by knowing how the song sounds, I must have been
Let's go to the moon. Oh. And Ray apparently instantly was just like, oh.
Yeah.
He was like, I like this. It's like, it's smart, but it's kind of like spooky. It's kind of like haunting in a way.
Yeah.
And go for it.
Classical pianists would probably love that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Ray hears that and he was just like, I think I could make some good music to go with it. I could write some interesting music to go with this.
Right.
So that was really the start of it.
Yeah.
Of the Doors. Ray was already playing in a band with his brothers.
Yes, both brothers. One named Jim.
Yes. But it was kind of like they did it on the weekends. Like, they weren't really like, oh, yeah, we got to do music.
Yeah.
You know
it's more like practicing or just boning up on your skills more than anything.
Right. So they got together with Jim and they started playing. And it was really like, it was 5 people at one point. It was like they had the 3-man Xerix, they had Jim, and they also had a bass player.
Yeah.
And I think they even got signed to Columbia. But Columbia never did anything, and they dropped them. And then when they started taking it more seriously, I guess Ray's brothers were like, yeah, like after they got dropped, they're like, I'm just going to go back to my day job. Like, I don't really love this shit like that.
Yeah. They were like, if anything, if you make it, Ray, we all make it. You know what I'm saying? Just hand up some cash.
Exactly. Hey, just don't forget where you came from, okay?
Exactly. Ray's going to make it. I'm going to take a break.
Yeah. So that version of the band kind of ended, and then I think Ray met John somewhere at like a party, right?
It was a transcendental meditation session for the Maharishi.
Yeah. Which is like the most 60s thing I've ever heard.
Me too. Hey guys, you want to go meditate down the block? The Maharishi's going to be here.
You want to go try some TM?
Fuck yeah, man.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, so Ray met up with John there, and he heard that he was a drummer. He was like, hey, man, you want to start a band? or sorry, like, I already got something going on. You want to join a band?
Yeah.
And John's kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm a professional. Like, I'll think about it.
Exactly. And meanwhile, John is like a teenager, and Ray is like, just graduated college, which, when you get older is not a big difference. But like at that point in your life, you're like, I'm way older than this kid.
Right.
Like, it's hilarious.
So John eventually decides to see what's up with Ray's band, and he starts getting together with them. And Jim, who was super shy at the time, like he was like saying that when John first came in, John was saying like he wasn't even like looking at us, like he was like standing in the corner with this like his creepy words and shit, like he wasn't, he hadn't really fully bloomed into the performer that he would become.
Right. And John and Robbie Krieger had already been playing together too, because they were friends. They were about the same age, and they were friends. And I'm not sure if Robbie was at that meditation place either.
I think John and Robbie both went to
right?
the transcendental meditation place, and then once the three of them were in, John was like, hey, I got a guitar player that would probably work out really well for what we're doing. So then Robbie came in, and immediately everyone was like, yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah, gotta be. Because speaking of spooky and dark, I mean, I find that Robbie's chords and, choices are very like spooky bordello. You feel you're on the border of Texas and Mexico. You don't know where you are.
Right. Well, I think it's interesting to say how the style of all of these musicians comes together so well.
Right?
Because... yeah, Robbie plays guitar in a way very different from a lot of other people. Mm-hmm. It's very like... well, I guess this kind of makes sense because you're talking about the transcendental meditation. It's very Indian influence, but also it's like flamenco.
Yes.
But also it's rock. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of hits note. And there's also a decent amount of dissonance in it. Yeah. The way that he plays. Like, he doesn't always play the prettiest notes.
Right.
Which
I'm gonna
really...
splash some melancholy in there.
Yeah. But that really adds a lot of depth to the sound. Mm-hmm. And then Ray, obviously, he's classically trained, like we were saying. But he had a way of making these, like, very, like... gothic sounding kind of riffs on the organ.
Baroque, if you will.
And you said something, we've talked about this because we talk about the Doors all the time, but you said something that I never really thought about, how basically in your mind the Doors are the start of like gothic rock.
Yeah.
I never thought about that until you said that.
I really feel like they are. Everything's just so, even though they, for some reason, personality wise, seemed that they had more color to their personality, but their music is just so gothic. Yeah, and they're not even from areas where you would associate with like anything gothic, a gothic scenery, right? We're talking about Florida, California, some parts of Virginia too, for Jim as well. Like, you don't see that as like, buildings and dark clouds and stuff. Right. But they'll sing about it though.
It's not like they're from New York, okay?
Exactly.
They're not from here.
That's probably what happened when Jim went there. It was probably got all
too much.
His mood. He was like, I'll take the mood, but I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna take the general feeling of like the world's ending, and I'm gonna bring that back to LA with me, and we're gonna make some hits.
That's right.
But and then also John, his drumming style is really underrated, I feel.
Me too.
Because he combines so many different. He's got. I mean, like Break On Through, it starts with like a bossa nova beat. Yeah. And then he has jazz influence, but then he also has some rock influence. Like it's very rare that he'll just go like he's not doing a lot of straightforward beats like that. He's always got some embellishments and things to throw in.